All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this information session about the Fulbright UK Summer Institute program. My name is Dr. Laurie Stoff. I am the Assistant Director of the Office of National Scholarship Advisement and a faculty mentor, and I am the primary and only advisor for the Fulbright UK Summer Institute program. And so I will be the advisor in our office who will be working with you should you decide to move ahead and apply for this amazing opportunity. And I will be doing everything in my power to help ensure that you are going to be able to get the grant. So you might be asking yourself just what the Office of National Scholarship Advisement is. Perhaps you haven't heard of us before. So we are the Lorraine W. Frank, actually, Office of National Scholarship Advisement, but we usually don't use the Lorraine W. Frank part. We just go by ANSA. If you're new to ASU, you will soon find out that everything at ASU is an acronym. So we are ANSA. So what do? Well, we publicize scholarship opportunities, identify potential applicants like yourselves, organize campus committees, and coordinate nomination processes should the awards require them. This award does not, so don't worry about that. We provide guidance and assistance every step of the way in preparing your application materials. We help you prepare for interviews should there be interviews. This grant opportunity does have an interview should you advance to the semifinalist status. So we will help you with that. We coach, we challenge, we push, we help to ensure that you achieve the things that you want to achieve, and particularly with regard to external, prestigious national and international awards. We are located on the second floor of Honors Hall in the Barrett Complex in Suite 225. So you may have walked down the hall and noticed all of those pictures on the wall of all of those students who've received awards. Those are the students that we have helped over the years to get great opportunities. So now you're probably wondering just what this particular opportunity, the Fulbright UK Summer Institute, is all about. These are 3 to 4 week programs for U.S. undergraduate students who have little, if any, travel experience outside of North America. So that means both the U.S. and Mexico and also Canada. So they include that entire geographic area. They're really looking to give students who wouldn't otherwise have a chance to go study abroad because of financial restrictions, the opportunity to do so. And they want you to be able to explore the culture, heritage, and history of the UK while you are attending classes and learning amazing things and interacting with lots of great people at a UK institution of higher education. These are programs that are funded by private individuals as well as through the Department of State and in partnership with the UK institutes that sponsor the programs. So one thing you want to make sure before you move ahead is whether you are eligible. And there are some criteria that you do have to meet for this particular award. You do have to be a U.S. citizen and possess a U.S. passport by the time that the program begins. So that means if you're in the process of getting your citizenship, but you will have it by June of 2025, that's fine. If you don't have a passport, we do suggest that you apply for one now because the passport office often takes quite a while to process things to just make sure that you have it by the time, again, that the programs will begin in the summer of 2025. You do need a GPA minimum of 3.6. You do need to have at least 2 years remaining on your undergraduate study. So that means not based on where you are, like you may have come in with lots of dual enrollment credits, and so technically you're a sophomore or a junior, and because of that, the requirement is that you will be in your undergraduate education for another 2 years when you return from the institute. They really do stress that they don't want applicants to have had a lot of travel experience outside of North America. And how they define that is less than 4 weeks in the past 5 years, right? So if you went on a trip for 2 weeks to Europe, 3 years ago, that's fine. They're not going to count that against you. They also make exceptions for students who are refugees or children of refugees or immigrants who've had to go to the countries of their origins to visit family, especially for emergency situations. So those kinds of travel experiences are not going to count against you. They don't consider those to be part of what they're considering a little to no travel experience. You do have to be 18 years old by, again, the time the program begins. So that would be June of 2025. You cannot participate in any other study abroad programs during the summer of 2025. This would be your only one. And you have to participate in this program for its duration. So you can't go for a week and then say, oh, I need to come back for my cousin's wedding and then go back again. You have to remain the whole time. They're only 3 to 4 weeks, so they're not incredibly long, but you do have to stay for the entire time. So what is it that the participants in this program get to do? Well, there's a lot of really great things. First of all, you'll be able to study alongside leading academics and professionals at the UK institute that you choose. You will be able to develop knowledge in specific fields. You'll be able to experience cultural and social events, visit UK cultural sites and areas of scenic beauty. You can, for most of these programs, receive credit that will transfer to your ASU transcript. Not all of them give credit. So when you're doing your research, which we'll talk about in a moment, of how to choose which institute you want to attend, if that's something that you're really keen on getting those credits, then you probably don't want to choose the program that doesn't give credit. However, I will say that academic credit is not the main benefit that you will get from these experiences. It's the cultural exchange, the knowledge, the connections that you'll make with people that are going to be the most transformative experiences. Because you will be meeting people from all over the place, not just in the UK, because what these programs do is they take students from different countries and they put them together in their cohorts. So they have a number of slots for American students who are participating in this program, but then they have slots for students from lots of different countries. So you'll be able to engage in lots of great cultural exchange. And they really want you to become an ambassador for studying in the UK, particularly for the Fulbright Commission. In other words, when you come back, they want you to sing the praises of the program and tell everyone that they should also apply and participate in it. So what does the program cover? This is actually a fantastic program in the sense that it's almost completely fully funded by those generous donations and the State Department funding that I spoke of. So they will cover your round trip US-UK airfare, your transportation from the airport to your institute location, all the tuition, all of the fees at your host institution, all of the social and cultural activities that you will be participating in, all of your accommodations, and most of your meals. In some cases, they will also give you a very small additional stipend. The only thing it does not cover is health insurance or travel insurance, and you are required to have that. So that is something that you'll want to make sure you can cover. So you might want to start thinking about saving up a little bit of money just for that. But everything else is going to be covered by this program, which makes it a fantastic opportunity for students who really want to study abroad, but don't have an extra $6,000 or $7,000 just lying around the house to go study abroad in the summer. So this is really a wonderful opportunity. So the institutes that they're covering this summer or this coming summer are in various locations around the UK, and they specialize in different fields and different academic disciplines and have different focuses. So The first one is at the University of Birmingham, and that is obviously in the city of Birmingham. And that one focuses on British cultural heritage, and it's a 3-week program. So if you're interested in British culture, that would be a great program for you. The next one is at the University of Bristol, which is again, obviously in Bristol. And that one focuses on arts, activism, and social justice. So it's really about the intersection between art and activism and social justice. So if you're someone who's inclined towards the artistic endeavors, then that's a great program. If you're interested in issues of social justice, it's also a great program. Lancaster University has a program focused on environment and sustainability. This is the only program that requires some course prerequisites in the sciences, because some of the programming that they do requires you to have some previous knowledge in the sciences. All of the rest of them do not require you to have any prerequisites. And in fact, they don't have to be things that you are majoring in. They could just be things you're interested in and you want to learn more about, and you can make a strong argument as to why you want to participate in the program. The next institute is at Queen's University Belfast. So that's in Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. So you should understand there's the Republic of Ireland, which is an independent nation. And then there's Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. And they actually have several different tracks that you can choose from that are really interesting. Culture, identity, history, and politics. In the second and third weeks, you choose from Irish studies, identity and intergroup relations in divided societies, leadership, sustainability, creative writing, or creative media. So you have a lot of flexibility in that program. And then lastly, there's a program in Scotland at the University of St. Andrews, which focuses on Scotland's history, kingdom, nation, and people. And so what you'll want to do is really do a deep dive into each one of the programs and see which one best aligns with your particular interests. And again, the one that you can make the strongest argument for why you really want to attend that program. Okay. So what are they looking for in applicants? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that this is not a competitive program. This is a very competitive program. They have about 32 slots open. There are about 5 to 7 at each institute. And this is a national competition, so there will be students applying from lots of different universities. We will do our best to help you make your application as strong as possible. And we have had great success with this program. We have a winner every year, at least one, sometimes more than one. So we always send a student from ASU to this program. But there are some ways that you can help us help you to stand out and to really make your application as strong as possible. So one thing to really note is they are looking for much more than just academic strength. Yes, they have that 3.6 GPA minimum requirement, but that's not the only criteria that they're going to be looking at, right? They want to see that you have leadership qualities, initiative, or potential. They want to see that you're open-minded and culturally curious. This is something, obviously, if you weren't open-minded and culturally curious, you probably wouldn't be applying for a program like this, right? You just want to stay home and not interact with people from other countries, but you do have to show them the ways in which you demonstrate this quality. You have to show them that you're keen to learn from and share knowledge with others. You are civically engaged, right? You care about what's happening in your community and the world around you, and you have a desire to give back when you return. Again, those who have never left the US and are unlikely to be able to study abroad without support are really those who they're going to prioritize. And as a result, they're really looking for a very diverse range of backgrounds, including low income and or first gen students. So for those of you who are thinking, oh, I'm not Fulbright material, I couldn't possibly get this award, don't think that way at all. You are what they are looking for. They really are heavily emphasizing the idea that they want to diversify the pool of applicants. They want the people who apply for this program to reflect the diversity and the multicultural nature of the United States. They don't want to send abroad people who all look the same and come from the same kind of backgrounds. They really want to make sure that they get a wide swath. And so you all have a great advantage coming from a giant public university in the Southwest that already makes you somewhat unique, because lots of the other applicants are going to come from coastal universities, liberal arts universities, Ivy Leagues. So that's going to give you an advantage. A public university like ASU that has a very high acceptance rate versus, you know, Harvard or Stanford that has like a 4% acceptance rate. They're already looking at you in a favorable way and thinking that you will add to the diversity of their pool of applicants. Okay. So what's really important, though, is to make sure that you stand out, because as I said, this is a competitive award where there are going to be lots and lots of other folks from around the country who are applying, and we want you to be an applicant that they remember, right? So the things that you really want to do in your application materials is address the desire that you have to go to the UK. You really want to lean into that heavily. Why is this something that is so important to you? How do you feel like this will be transformative for you? Why do you want to go to the specific city, region, and university that you've chosen, right? What appeals to you there? What things do you want to visit while you're there? What are you interested in learning more about the place? What interests you specifically about what the program is offering? Maybe the courses that they're offering. Maybe there's an expert in a particular field that you're really eager to interact with. Maybe there's some cultural sites that you're really excited to go visit. So you really want to do some research and figure out what it is that's really appealing to you about this and make a strong argument about that. And again, that relates to why you're interested in the specific theme of the Institute and how it resonates with your interests, skills, and experiences. Again, it doesn't have to be your major. It doesn't even have to be your minor. It could be in a field that you're just interested in, as long as you make a strong argument to say, like, this is something that's really important to me personally. I'm not pursuing it academically, but I want to incorporate it into my life. I really feel like this is going to help me become a more well-rounded person and understand the world better. That's a great way to demonstrate that you have an interest in a particular area, even if it's not your major field. They want to know how you're going to contribute to the Institute. What do you bring to the table? What's unique about you? What is your background, your heritage, your identity? How do you interact with other folks? This is very much group-based learning, so they're very much interested in your ability to interact with others and what you're going to bring to the group cohort. And then how will you share when you return? So as I said, again, they really want you to become something of an ambassador for the program. They want you to come back and tell everyone how great it was and encourage more students to apply. Okay, so as far as what the application entails, it does require that you have 2 references. At least one of those references should be from an academic. So that could be a recent professor or a teacher. Many of you may be first-year students, and maybe this is your first semester in college, and perhaps you haven't had a chance to get to know your professors yet. If you're a Barrett student, probably a good place to start would be your human event professor. If you have a good relationship with that person is probably going to know you a little bit better than a professor that you're taking a class with 500 other students, and you don't really get to know that person. I would really caution you against asking somebody just because they have a big name in a field or they're well known. That's not really going to impress them, especially if that person doesn't know you, right? So the thing you really want to do is ask someone who knows you well. If you feel like you don't have somebody at the university level who knows you well enough yet, you can ask a teacher from high school, Or you can go and you can ask one of your professors to make some time, go to their office hours or make an appointment with them to get to know you a little bit better. That's perfectly acceptable. Don't be intimidated. We faculty are here because we want to help you students. I know that sometimes students are intimidated about going to office hours or making appointments with professors, but really it's totally fine to do that, and we welcome that. So think about, who, if you're not really sure, if you have a professor that that you feel like knows you well enough yet, take some time and reach out to them and say, hey, can we meet? And so you can get to know me a little bit better, because I'd really like to ask you for a recommendation for this program, but I think you need a little more information about who I am. The other reference can come from anyone you know well, that's a coach, a group leader, a work supervisor. However, it should not come from family or friends. And if you want to have 2 academic references, you can, but at least one needs to be. It is your responsibility to ensure that both references are submitted by the deadline. And just to let you know, the #1 reason why people get disqualified from this program is because they are missing letters of reference. So what you need to do is write very gentle but persistent reminders to your recommenders saying, hey, remember you agreed to write this letter for me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Can you please make sure you get it in by the deadline? So their deadline is also your deadline, which is what I'm going to talk about in a moment. Okay. So the rest of the application consists of 5 short answer questions. Those questions are, again, ways for the committee to try to get to know you. The first is about your extracurricular activities, community service, jobs, things that you do outside of school that are meaningful to you. In particular, they want you to spend some time talking about the one thing you spend the most time doing, and why that's the thing that's so important to you. Then they want you to explain why you're particularly interested in the specific institute you've chosen, how it aligns with your goals and academic interests, even if that's outside your major. Then they want to know about some leadership experience or position where you had a great amount of responsibility. And this doesn't necessarily have to be you were the president of a club or that you held some leadership title. Leadership comes in a lot of different forms, right? It could be horizontal leadership, right? Where you were with a group of people and you all were trying to accomplish something and you figured out a way to get, to achieve your goals, and you motivated people to do the work necessary in order to achieve that goal. That's also leadership, right? So anything like that is the kind of thing they're looking for. They're also wanting you to identify the things that you feel that are problematic or issues in your local community that you want to try to solve, that you want to try to work on, and how you're going to address those in your future academic journey or career. And then why you think you need this program, in other words, the fully funded program. They're not going to ask you for any financial information. You don't have to fill out, you don't have to send them your FAFSA or any kind of tax information or anything like that. But you do need to explain to them the circumstances that you find yourself in that make it such that you cannot pay for a study abroad program for yourself. That could be, well, again, I don't have $7,000 laying around. Normally I have to work during the summers, in order to have money for the rest of the year, or I just don't have this extra money. My family doesn't have this extra money. So that's what you need to do in that part. Okay. And then there is one longer piece of the application that is a personal statement that is 700 words, where they want you to really kind of dig in and talk about why you're unique, what makes you the person that you are, why you really want to study abroad, particularly in the UK, how this is going to shape your future, what are you going to gain from it, and really importantly, they want to know why this is going to be a transformative experience. I guarantee you it will be a transformative experience. I have yet to meet anyone who's gone on a study abroad program and come back and said, yeah, meh, it was fine, whatever. Everyone comes back and says, it was amazing. I met all these great people. Yes, it might have been difficult. Yes, at first you might have been homesick and maybe had culture shock, but everybody has great stories and they really relish the experiences that they have. So you want to think about how this is really going to change your life if you're given the opportunity. Okay, so best practices for a successful application, and this is kind of vital, again, especially if you are a first-year student and you're already kind of struggling to balance your academic life. Time management is really key because does take some work, right? This is not something you can do last minute. So the applications are currently open and they will close on February 3rd. They will not make any exceptions for late applications. So if you do not get it submitted by February 3rd, then you just won't, your application won't be reviewed. So make sure you do get that in on time. You probably want to think about submitting a few days earlier, just to make sure, especially if there are any problems with the electronic portal, the whole application is online. And so you just want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. There's no technical glitches because if you wait until the very last minute on February 3rd and try to submit and there is a technical problem, there's really nothing that we can do to help you, okay? In late March of 2025, you will be notified if you have been shortlisted. In other words, you'll be a semifinalist. They will then offer a webinar to help you prepare for an interview because they will interview you. We will also give you lots of opportunities to get help to prepare for that interview. We will set up mock interviews with you so you can practice. In mid to late April, they will conduct those interviews, and then in early May, they will notify you if you have been selected as a finalist. Okay, so to get started, the thing that you should do is to do a deep dive into the Fulbright UK Summer Institute website, right? So just Google that. I'll quickly show you what that looks like. No, that's not gonna let me do that, is it? Okay, let me stop the share and then I'll do a new share and you can see the website. So this is going to take you to where all of the programs, the different institutes are described, right? So you'll click on each one and read them very carefully, right? To see exactly what it is that they offer and to see how they align with your interests. That is really the best place to start. They also have information there about applications, support, eligibility, what they're looking for, how to choose, how to start your application. As I said, it will all be online, the timeline, and FAQs. So it's really a great resource. Then what you're going to do is you're going to enroll in our Canvas. So let me go back to PowerPoint so you can see that. So this is the link here for the Canvas that we have constructed that's going to give you lots and lots of resources. You can self-enroll. You don't have to have an invitation for it. All you need is this link right here. So I will show you that really quickly as well, the modules that we have to give you the best opportunities to get assistance to help start this program. So let me do that and go to another screen here. So many windows open. Okay, here we go. And let me do it view as a student. So look, you see it the way you see it. So you'll go here. This is the site, right? It'll take you here and you'll be able to work your way through the modules. We've got lots of promotional materials, videos you can watch, information about the application, all of these stories of past participants who will tell you how great things were when they went and give you advice. These are all ASU winners, so they're specific to ASU, so you definitely should watch those. The application steps, eligibility, and then helping you to select an institute. I have the entire application here as a PDF so that you don't have to go back and forth into the online system. You can work from the PDF, and then when you're ready, you can go and start inputting into the online application. And then probably your most important resource is going to be this worksheet. So what I have here for you is a way for you to start narrowing down and figuring out just exactly which of the institutes you would really like to attend. So I have it organized by, if it will load, then you'll be able to see, but I have it organized by each institute where you can take notes and you can put, when the duration of the program are, what the academic focus and program criteria, and then take notes on things you find interesting in order to then narrow down. So there's, for each of the institutes, I've done that. And you can then start thinking about your program choice rationale, right? Because that is going to be really important. You're going to have to demonstrate why you picked this program, why this is the one that sort of sings to you, right? The one that really you feel like you're going to get the most out of and aligns with your interests. And then you want to think about your recommendation letters. Because this is something you actually probably want to start doing very, very soon. Probably within the next couple weeks, especially because we are about to go off for winter break and your professors will become harder to get contact. They will disperse into the ether over the winter break. So it would be a good idea for you to identify your references prior to winter break and ask them if they're willing to write for you. So you can start thinking about that. We also have a memorandum of guidance that we provide in this canvas that you can give to your recommenders to help them craft the strongest letter. So basically it describes the program to them. You should be able to indicate to them which of the institutes you're going to apply to and the rationale for that. But then we give them further guidance on how to make sure that they're speaking to the things that Fulbright is really looking for. The kinds of interpersonal skills, excuse me, that they're really most interested in. That's why it's really, really important for you to ask somebody who knows you very well. And then I have all of the short answers here and the specific questions that they ask. And I've given you a page for each one of them so you can start brainstorming your ideas. I would say when you start, don't worry about the word counts. We'll get you down to where you need to be. And you can come and see me as many times as you want with as many revisions as you want in order to make sure you're feeling confident about submitting your essays. Because as my human event students will tell you, I drill into their heads, good writing is revision, revision, revision. Okay, so that, let me go back, or let's go to the next thing so I can show you where so I've got the selection criteria in here as well. And for the letters of reference, so I have a whole page that kind of gives you some guidance on how to start thinking about the letters of reference, who you should ask. And as I said, this memorandum of guidance, which I've also linked on the next page. So I really highly recommend that you download this and when you reach out to the person who's agreed, first ask them if they're willing to write for you, but then once they've agreed, then when you follow up with them to give them further information about the program and the institute you're going to apply for, you should give them this letter to help them write the strongest recommendation for you. And then I've got a taking personal inventory document, so that will help you start like thinking about for the personal statement. And then if you would like to read this is Dr. Mox's guide to personal statements. Dr. Mox is our director of the Office of National Scholarship Advisement. It's a fairly long document. If you're, willing to take a deep dive in there, it will give you some good advice. Okay, let me stop this share then and go back to our PowerPoint. So in order for you to have a successful application experience, I know this might seem very daunting, but take it one step at a time. Treat it like a job application. Get feedback from me, from ANSA, as often as you'd like. As I mentioned, I'm happy to review your drafts. You can also reach out to other folks, right? Barrett faculty in particular are pretty familiar with this program, especially if they've been around for a while. So you can get them to look at your materials and help you to craft them. Ask questions. You can send me your drafts in advance. In fact, I greatly prefer that so that I can really look at them before we meet. You can reach out to other ASU applicants and ask them questions about their experiences and get advice from them. And consider all of your drafts works in progress, right? Until that final submission. So you're going to revise, 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 revise. We usually like students to go through about 3 or 4 revisions before they submit the final product. So resources available to you through ANSA, individual appointments with me, right? Again, you can sign up as many times as you would like, right? To get advice, to have me review your drafts, to ask questions. That's what I'm here for. We also will be offering some writing workshops in January, and I've got the link here for you to sign up for those. They're probably not posted yet because they'll be in the spring, but once they get up on our schedule, you'll be able to sign up for those. As I said, if you become a semifinalist, we will absolutely do everything we can to help prep you for the interviews. And at any time, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I've got my email address right there. So I know that was a lot, so I'm going to stop talking and see if there are any questions. The link for the Canvas course. Yep, I sure can. Let me stop the share and so this will, as I said, be recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't know, ANSA maintains its own YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see this again if you need to. Okay, there's the link. Sorry, I don't know why there was a little O in front of it, but that's the link. Okay. Anya's asking, will having a hold on my ASU account affect anything at all? No, this has nothing to do with ASU. This is an external award, as I said, administered by the Fulbright UK US Commission and the US Department of State. So it has nothing to do with ASU. So I don't really care about any holds on your ASU account. You're totally fine. Damien's asking, does the leadership section only apply to our current activities, or can we also use high school? Yes. So especially if you are a first-year student, it might be difficult for you to come up with things that you've done or are doing currently. If this is your first semester in college, yes, you can absolutely use high school experiences. I would say a good rule of thumb is, though, not to go back more than 5 years, right? They're not interested in your, that you were the lead in your kindergarten, reading group or whatever. That's not going to be helpful. That's not going to help them get an idea of who you are now. But yes, you absolutely can use high school experiences. Elizabeth is asking, is it okay to use a high school teacher if you're a sophomore? So I would say that if you've been at ASU for more than a year, it would be better for you to find a university professor. However, if that's a problem, right, if you're not able to find somebody who really has gotten to know you, especially if you've only had like giant classes and you haven't been able to have a lot of interactions with the professors, that's understandable. So you can use a high school teacher, but they might question, well, if you've been in college already for over a year, it might be better to use a college professor. But we can talk about that. We can talk about some strategies on how you might be able to develop those relationships. They're going to be very useful for you moving forward. Okay, Ariana asks, I have health insurance, but it would not cover care abroad. So yes, you do have to purchase separate insurance to cover you while you're abroad. Okay, any other questions? Any other concerns, things that I can answer for you? Okay, well, I really appreciate you spending your Friday afternoon with me. As I said, I'm absolutely happy to answer any questions moving forward. You should really think about this as an opportunity not just to apply for an award, but also to help you in the future. Because we like to think of this award as sort of like a gateway award, right? It's a foot in the door that teaches you how to write these kinds of applications. You'll learn a lot about yourself in the process. You'll learn about how to talk about yourself and your interests and how to promote those and hone those into strong arguments as to why you deserve the awards that you're asking for. And so what we're hoping is that you'll start here with this award and then move forward. Many of the students that have received the Fulbright UK Summer Institute Awards have gone on and received bigger and better awards, as they progress through their academic careers. So a student a couple years ago who won an award to Queen's University Belfast, then went on and applied for a Killam, which is a Fulbright Canada research award, which she won, and now has applied for a Fulbright postgraduate award to allow her to return to Belfast to do a graduate program there, because Fulbright will pay for you to do that if you apply and you win that award. So she loved it so much that, she is now trying to get back there and will likely win because she has all this great experience. Other students have gone on to apply for marshals and Rhodes and all kinds of really great awards. So we want you to get in the practice of learning how to do these. This is kind of a nice small award to help you start that process and then move forward. So even if you don't win, you really learn a lot about yourself, about the application process, and then hopefully set yourself up for the future to get other great opportunities. Okay. Any other questions then? Oh, and James, thank you for that. Yeah, the travel insurance it's not very expensive, but it is something, again, you want to think about, just because, as I said, that's the one thing they don't cover. So just start maybe saving a little bit of money for that, just to make sure you can cover it. Okay. Well, in that case, I will release you all into this beautiful afternoon, and I hope to see you all soon in an advising session.